You know that feeling when your executive finally delivers the perfect quote, but it's after the interview's over, not during it? Well, that's because they haven't done any rehearsal. And it's rehearsal that turns mediocre spokespeople into great ones. And yet, so many executives won't make time to rehearse. And this has a direct impact on their performance. They'll probably be low energy, they'll lack authority, and they may well miss the key messages that you would like them to get across, which is detrimental to the business and strategic communication goals that you have. So give me 3 minutes and I'm going to walk you through why executives refuse to rehearse, what you can do to help them build the right kind of rehearsal into their interview schedules. If you like what you hear, type the word rehearsal in the comments below and I will send you the cheat sheet that I use to help CEOs, prime ministers, and other busy spokespeople nail their interviews and get a great high energy performance every time. Now, I've been a media trainer for 15 years, and the most common excuses that I hear for why executives don't want to rehearse are as follows. Number one, I'm too busy. I have some sympathy for this. Executives are incredibly busy. However, if they are going to do an interview, rehearsal is a key part of that. In fact, the right kind of rehearsal will save your executive time. So get some FaceTime with them if you can, once you know what the interview schedule is going to look like, or book in a call. 20 minutes of them talking through what they're going to say with you and how they're going to say it is far more effective than you sending them a long brief, which they then read through or ask you questions about. So that's the first thing. You can actually save them time, even though they're busy. Second excuse, I don't need to rehearse because it's all in here. I got this. It's not that hard. Actually, it is that hard. An interview is a performance, and no actor would go on stage without preparing their voice, their body, and running through their lines multiple times. In fact, in order to come across as authentic and spontaneous, good spokespeople have a deep performance layer built into their preparation time. And they want to come across as high energy and thoughtful, but without doing any of the work in the moment. Because when we do our thinking on the spot or warming up on the spot, our eyes move and our body language becomes less certain. And this will have a direct impact on your executive's authority and how credible they come across during the interview. So remind them that if they're not warming up before the interview, they're warming up during the interview, and they will not be at the top of their game because all their energy will be going into getting the words out of their brain and not concentrating on connecting with the journalist or any audience. Excuse number 3, I don't want to come across as inauthentic and too scripted. Trust me, they won't. Being inauthentic is a ridiculous concept to come up with anyway. Most executives need to be the best version of themselves, not their raw, unfiltered self. And as I mentioned before, that takes performance and practice. Plus, you're not going to write out a script for them. And in fact, when they're talking it through, encourage them to think of it as getting the words out and oralizing and owning them rather than trying to learn a script in key sentences. If they do that, they will sound inauthentic, but that's a speech, not an interview. So that's the wrong kind of preparation anyway. Encourage them to think about practicing key messages or key quotes one at a time while they're making coffee or with you. But the more they can say the words, build a tongue map, build their confidence, they will get the words out of their processing brain and into their tongue. And this will free them up so that they don't do any thinking on the spot, and they will come across as sharp, use fewer words, and have more energy to put into the moment and the connection with the journalist and their audience. Now, all of those excuses that I've just given you are also code for I will feel silly rehearsing with junior colleagues such as you. And this is where your relationship with your executive really comes into play. Because if you don't have one built on trust, or one where you can give them feedback or they feel comfortable making mistakes in front of you, it can be tricky to sell rehearsal time into them. And you may want to consider getting somebody else to do the practice with them if you can't be that person. So just a reminder, if they're not warming up in advance, they're warming up on the spot, and most people are not very good at that. We do not do our best performing spontaneously. It doesn't matter what they've been told. So try and encourage them to think in these terms, build that time in, and build a culture of being more oral with the interview preparation, because that is the way to come across as authentic, high energy, and thoughtful without showing any of the workings that are going on behind the scenes. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to type rehearse in the comments below if you'd like to get the cheat sheet that I use to help my CEOs and other executives warm up.